Hey Casuals, what's going on guys? It is Kai the Casual back again, of course, with Kai's Top 5 for Monday Night Raw in Paris, France. I need a croissant or something for this. I think it might give me one at work tomorrow. Anyway, forget all that noise. Let me start off with my honorable mentions. Of course, I have two this week. We first have, of course, this is a Finn Balor Stan account, just a heads up, you know. But Finn Balor gets a W against Dragon Lee with heel shenanigans with the help of, JD McDonough. But it's a Finn win, so no hate here. Anyway, and of course, Lyra Valkyria once again asking Adam Pearce about Bayley and her mental status and where's she been. Well, we learned that she is going to be returning soon, and apparently he was spoken to in a very weird way. That's all we know. And Lyra will also be challenging either Roxanne Perez or Raquel Rodriguez next week. So she'll be back in action. Maybe Bayley will interrupt that match somehow when she returns with her weird gimmick. I personally want that to be like a weird mashup of the role model and the hugger gimmick. And I would love to, like, if the theme song was mashed up too. Like it starts off with the, the old Bayley theme song mixed with the, and it shifts like suddenly to the. Anyway, okay, I'm nerding out. Anyway, those are my honorable mentions. Let's get into our main top 5 moments of the show. First one up, number 5. This just squeezed out the Finn Balor match, but this was just a tad bit more fun to me. We had a 6-man tag match with Penta and the War Raiders returning back to TV. Welcome back, Vikings. Versus the New Day and Grayson Waller. Very fun match. Again, Xavier Woods still, selling his neck like, oh, they need to ban the Mexican Destroyer. And then Penta hits it to win. So yeah, that was very fun. I love that. Let me know what you guys thought of that and the character work of this match. Gotta love it. Number 4. So this whole thing with the Kabuki Warriors and Io Sky these last few weeks has been an interesting story. People are really excited to see Asuka doing, character work and building up the tension between her, Io, and Rhea, while Kairi is kind of the poor, the poor little mouse in between this drama. But the Kabuki Warriors had a great opening tag match against the Judgment Day Girls of Roxanne Perez and Raquel Rodriguez. Again, good, exciting, fun match. I was really excited to see the Kabukis get the win. But later on in the night, they also interrupted a interview with Kelly Kelly and Rhea Ripley. And once again, Asuka is just letting Rhea know, stay away from Asuka. And I love Asuka's accent. It's not hard to understand her, but I think it gives some flavor to her promos and stuff. And she's once again going back to saying, nobody is ready for Asuka. I miss those NXT days. I think Asuka is like one of my, if not the favorite, one of my favorite Japanese stars that's ever been in the company. And I'm an Asuka fan, man. I love the mask, I love the face paint, especially when it went to the crazy clown makeup. But something happened before the match too, where Io had approached them. Again, she's like, hey, I'm not hanging out with Rhea Ripley anymore, and I want to support you guys. And she offers to be in the Kabuki's corner tonight for the match, and Asuka denies it after Kairi was very excited to have her help. Nope, not Asuka. She's like, we'll do it by ourselves. Later on in the night, well, actually, no, I think it was the same moment. Sorry. Io is now going to be in the Women's World Championship match with Stephanie Becker at WWE WrestlePalooza on ESPN. Yay! More money out to WWE, but anyway, we'll save our frustration of that for another video. But, yeah, so Io offers help to the Kabukis. Kairi accepts, but Asuka denies. But Asuka insists on helping Io with her World Women's Championship match. Yeah, so she's the jealous best friend in this. You know, there's a history between them in, you know, in the Triple Tails back in, I think, Stardom, I think it was. I want to track that. Go watch Asuka's YouTube channel. She'll tell you all about it. Anyway, I love the drama building up. I love the story building up between that. I really want to see a match between Asuka and Rhea. Probably on a PLE. I think that's PLE worthy. We'll see. And who knows, maybe the Kabukis are the ones that cost Io the win against Stephanie Vaquer at WrestlePalooza, and we get a new World Women's Championship, or champion, out of Stephanie and for her first title. La Primera, right? Anyway, back to the top 5, of course, though. My number 3 was, look, France was eaten the whole weekend, but AJ Styles versus Dominic Mysterio for the Intercontinental Championship was awesome. Like, they're both amazing performers, right? But Dominic Mysterio, he got so much offense during this, and commentary was putting him over too, and I saw it. The dude he was working a masterclass. Like, he is not just a Nepo baby. The dude can work, and I loved the work. And he had no Judgment Day at his corner, but he unfortunately won by heel shenanigans once again, because Judgment Day was banned from ringside, but El Grande Americano was not. He, of course, puts the metal plate up his mask, headbutts AJ in the chest, and Dominic Mysterio takes advantage. That's all she wrote. One little note about this match, though. Commentary called AJ's, I think it was like elevated DDT. They called it a Bloody Sunday. They being, I think it was Wade Barrett, which is usually what Finn Balor called his before coming to WWE, but I think there was some drama with it being called Bloody Sunday that was either too graphic or it's some event in Irish history that was like I think it was a massacre or something. Anyway, I guess they thought it was too graphic, so I think Finn called it 1916, which is the year that event happened, and that's what they called it on commentary. I was like, wait, I thought we weren't allowed to say Bloody Sunday. Anyway, so it seems like AJ on the low was kind of shouting out Finn Balor during this match. Yes, again, Finn Balor's stand account. I could be reading too much in that. Who knows? But it was cool to see. Yeah, great title match. It was very fun. But anyway, back to the list, of course. Let's get to my final 2. I'm going to try to be really quick with this one. But the show opened up with Jey Uso and then LA Knight, and Jey Uso was talking about, you know, the Fatal 4-Way, like, sorry, I didn't get the job done in France. He's, of course, interrupted by LA Knight, who was like, yo, you were the one that broke rank first. Yeah, you, like, he was like, oh, I didn't listen to Roman Reigns or whatever, and, like, you know, just try to stick out for myself. But LA Knight was like, no, you did look out for yourself. You did. We were about to put Seth through a table, and you were the one who kicked us. Like, what's good with that, man? Then comes the vision of Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed. Again, notably without Heyman and Seth, which again, I like that these guys are, you know, they're being built up and they're standing on their own. You know, Bronson, despite losing, was in a way being put over by commentary and Roman during that match opener at Clash in Paris. And Braun Breaker again got the beat down after that. So again, the Vision is still looking up. They're still on the high coming up from Clash. But anyway, they interrupt him, and of course it leads to a tag team bout in the main event, which was a very good and it was a fun match, very entertaining. It makes my number 2 because, well, you'll see, I'll say that for when I reveal it. But of course, the Vision end up getting the win, and once again they go for the post-match beatdown. This time, however, Jimmy Uso, who is supposed to be on SmackDown, comes in for the save. I was waiting for Punk to come in, but no, looks like he was so out for Seth Rollins. Who? Let's get to my number 1 of the night. But yeah, Jimmy, just to top it off, Jimmy Uso comes in with the steel chair, you know, for the save, and the show goes off the air. Again, good main event, don't get me wrong. But my number one, I think a lot of people are going to be talking about this moment for the rest of the week. So this is my number one moment of the week. CM Punk, when the show starts at the beginning, is approached by Adam Pearce because he's waiting at the entry gate for where the stars come in with their vehicles. Like, hey, I'm just out here waiting for Seth Rollins. He didn't attack him. Becky Lynch attacked him at the end of their Fatal 4-Way match main event in Clash in Paris. And it turned into this thing of, all right, well, now I'm just going to sit here and get my payback because he's got to come in here sometime tonight, right? Dude's got to come to work. He does not. Somehow he gets into the building without Punk knowing. So he hijacks the show, apparently, in his promo segment. He gets on the mic and he says, you know, like, we're handling this right now. I know he's in the building, so I'm going to hijack the show until he comes out here. And his music hits. And out comes the person who screwed him out of the championship. None other but the wife of Seth Rollins, Becky Lynch, the man. Seth Rollins' music hits, she comes out. Please go watch this segment for yourself, but this was great mic work by the both of them during this promo segment. Very entertaining, very dramatic, and maybe a little bit real too. Becky mentions how Punk's previous WWE exit, it didn't just affect Seth negatively, it affected his family, and you know, meaning her. And I love that she brought this up because this is real life. That, remember when they were chanting your name, like in Punk, he brags about this after, or I might be telling this a bit out of order, excuse me. Like I said, please go watch this segment for yourself. The crowd is chanting AJ Lee because of course everybody wants AJ to come back now that Becky Lynch interrupted that match. So now Punk needs a weapon against Becky. He's not gonna hit a woman. So she goes on about how, like, yeah, I do remember them chanting your name, like they mentioned, and how they're chanting for that dope that doesn't work here anymore, just like you when you weren't working anymore and after you left, and how during my matches it affected me too because they were chanting for your name, not me, during my matches, which was admittedly a thing that was happening anytime that something uninteresting was going on screen. Sometimes the people that had to deal with the consequences were the ladies' matches. The women of WWE kind of dealt with the consequences of Punk exit too. That's kind of real life. It is. It's kind of real and it's honest and it's. You kind of wonder, does Becky have beef with Punk in real life too? Anyway, I'm speculating. Anyway, it comes to a point where Seth walks out too in his checkerboard looking self, without his music. He just looks on. Becky gets in the way, of course, of Punk going after him, and he just walks away. Like, both Seth and Becky are like the ultimate trolls here. She calls him Punk all kinds of names as he's walking out. Because before he walks out, again, she's goading Punk on, like, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? And he's like, no, I know what's going on here. Like, no, I'm not falling for this. She slaps him so many times. You remember when Stephanie McMahon slapped CM Punk a bunch of times? Nah. She goes so many times. I couldn't even count. Just the whole time. Headbutting him in the chest. Just really getting in his case, right? So, it's just, it was a good segment. And it makes my number one. I'm ranting about it a lot. Punk eventually goes after Punk goes after Seth backstage and only catches Pierce because, again, Seth once again has already left the building. But he asks Pierce a question that's kind of rhetorical. Where is SmackDown this week? He said it's in Chicago. Huh, home. Okay. And he just walks off. And Pierce is just left confounded again for like the third time of the night of like, what does that mean? You know what it means. He's gonna try to meet Seth on SmackDown, which I don't know why Seth would show up to SmackDown if he's not on SmackDown. He's on Raw, but who knows? Everybody's been speculating since Sunday. Will we get AJ Lee back? Is it finally time to pull the trigger on a AJ Lee return? And as far as I know, AJ herself hasn't wanted to return. So, who knows? But that could be great if we hear Light It Up again, right? And our favorite Chuck boot wearing Punk baddie comes out to fight again, right? Everybody misses, a little bit of AJ Lee craziness. I don't know whether to get my hopes up or not. But it's the thing that would most likely happen, right? Is it finally time for AJ Lee to come back? I hope so. I really hope that we see the return of AJ soon because we miss her. Even if it's just this one time only. Yeah. Miss Mendez, I have no idea if you would ever see this video, but from a fan who previously did not like you during the feud with Caitlyn back in the day when I was getting back into wrestling. Please come back, please. Anyway, until then, I will be enjoying the show. You know the drill, guys. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Ring that bell notification. And of course, you know that I love you. Enjoy pro wrestling. And of course, guys, in those comments and, in the wrestling community in general, please keep it casual. See you for Dynamite. Adios.